Oh yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the pudding pulverizer. AKA why you got that peanut butter in your pocket? AKA it's your nuts. AKA the Komaki Tiger Dropper. AKA the Nickel Lip Master. Bringing you yet another episode of Switcher Sights, episode 192. Today's date is June 20th, 2024. As you can probably tell, been on a bit of a hiatus, which I was enjoying, to be honest with you. Just enjoying myself, not having to worry about this podcast, having a nice break. But I was like, all these announcements. It's like, let me get back in. Let me get back in it for a bit. I don't know. Maybe I'll probably maybe at the very least probably go monthly. But we'll see. However I'm feeling, I'm not putting any pressure on myself anymore. So, yeah. Yeah, damn. It's been a minute, so I'm trying to reacclimate myself to how everything went and flew, whatever. You know what I mean. Yeah. Something about that. Nonetheless, have a pretty good episode today. Getting all the nitty gritty of all the summer game announcements and whatnot. So, you know what? Let's stop the dilly dallying and get right into it. First topic of discussion. Started off with the PlayStation State of Play. PlayStation wanted to set the tone, wanted to let everybody know what was up, and they let us know what was up. All right. So first announcement was this game called Concord, which is very much, it feels like Overwatch meets Destiny, which it was. And then it all at the same time was trying to have a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe with their animated trailer where they introduced all these characters. Because like if you went off that trailer alone without even the gameplay explanation that went after it, you totally would have thought it was like a literally straight up like Guardians of the Galaxy game. But nope, it is a first person hero shooter pseudo Destiny game that you've not had enough of, right? You haven't had enough of this. You want more, don't you? You know you do. Come get some more of this. Get some more of this hero shooter Destiny like shooter. You want it. You know you do. You fiending for it. I could tell it in your bones. Yeah. So, there was that. Yeah, it didn't speak to me at all, really. But it's apparently coming out this year, August 23rd, 2024, PS5 and PC. It is a PS5 exclusive, well, of course, because it's PlayStation Direct, but God of War Ragnarok finally got confirmation of the PC release coming September 19th, 2024. Unlocked frame rates. DLSS, XeSS, and FSR support, ultra wide support as well. So hey, I'm always down for it. I mean, I'm probably not gonna play it anytime soon, but you know, since I literally got my whole feel on console. But hey, you know, maybe if I'm feeling frisky, you never know. Dynasty Warriors Origins. So basically, Dynasty Warriors, but Origins, I guess. Didn't seem like anything too drastically different. I didn't really notice the same, like, you know, tried and true Musu formula where, you know, obliterate thousands of infantry and, you know, get a special combo and you can do even more damage or whatever. So see, more of the same. Nothing really stood out. You know, then after the very lackluster Dynasty Warriors 9, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they saw like, man, you know what? We need to take it back to the roots, take it back to the streets. So I don't know. So there's that. Infinity Nikki, which seemed like a competitor to a Nintendo game. The vibes I kind of felt like. So there's that. Ballad of Antara. I mean, that was something like an action RPG. Skydance's Behemoth. I think this was like the VR thing for PSVR. Yeah, that looked pretty interesting, but I don't know if I want to get PSVR for that specifically. Alien Rogue Incursion, another PSVR 2 game. Marvel Rivals, which, you know, is like a Overwatch clone, more or less. I don't know. Seemed interesting, I guess. I don't know. Where Winds Meet. I don't even remember this one. Apparently, this is this a third person action game? Big juicy, big juicy sword fights. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Until Dawn remake. Sure, whatever. Looks very similar to the original. Yeah, they're damn near identical, I'd say. But I guess maybe people who never played it on console at least get a chance to play it on PC now, since I guess that's the biggest change for this one is that it is coming on PC. So there's that. Path of Exile 2. You know, I know you've been waiting, right? Silent Hill 2. We got somewhat of an extended trailer of this, which I'm still very lukewarm, cautious on in general. It really is, I think, ultimately gonna come down to like literally until I have it in my hands and play it to like really, I don't know, really get a sense of the game or whatnot, you know. So I mean, there's that. Coming October 8th, 2024. I think we did not get a release date yet, so that's something. Yeah, I don't know. Just something just feels a little bit off, you know, even for a Silent Hill game. But yeah, I think I would just have to play it to really get a feel for it. So at least I'm interested enough, of course, to play it to, you know, find out more. So Monster Hunter Wilds, we got like a little trailer. I feel like this trailer wasn't really meaty enough for me personally. You got a couple new monsters and whatnot, but it didn't feel any different from like, you know, Monster Hunter World, it felt like. So it didn't really woo me that much, but absolutely when this comes out, I'm all in. 2025. Astrobot, this was pretty surprising that Astrobot is getting its own like legit game rather than I guess we'll record whatever. So yeah, pretty much that was the gist of the direct or state of play. So it wasn't really that crazy in my opinion. But it was actually pretty disappointing, I'd say, all around. Uh, yeah, yeah. So, but then after that, there was Summer Games Fest that had something to kind of sink your teeth into, if you will. Lego Horizon Adventures. That was probably the biggest. What? So this is pretty much the using the Horizon Zero Dawn IP, and basically put into a Lego verse, and it's on PC, PS5, and Nintendo Switch, which is another interesting layer to it. Considering that this franchise is exclusive to PlayStation. Um, so I mean, there's that. Uh, No More Room in Hell 2. I did not know this was from. Oh, I guess yeah. This is from the people that did Chivalry. So there's that. Um, Harry Potter Quidditch. I don't even recall that one. Star Wars Outlaws trailer. Sure. Um, oh yeah, Cuff Bus, which seems to be like the new Among Us slash what was the other game? Damn it, Fall Guys. So I mean, there's that. Uh, Black Myth Wukong. I think they showed a little trailer and then collector's edition reveals. Metaphor Refantasio. I think we got a little thorough viewing of that. Fatal Fury. I think they revealed a couple characters. The one girl that could use her ass as a counter. I mean, hey, you got my attention. All right, you got my investment. um, what else? Mecha Break. That didn't really. Oh, Blumhouse Games. Blumhouse Games, which seemed it had a whole slate of random indie horror games that they showcased, which none were really like I guess enough to really, I don't know, attach to. But I mean, in due time. Probably one of the biggest announcements for me personally. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind being announced. So pretty much feels very similar in the vein of that Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, where it's like a straight up traditional beat 'em up. But what was interesting that I at least got from that trailer is that it looks like a 5-player co-op, which is good. That'd be pretty dope if that is true. So you got that. Slitterhead got some gameplay, which it's not much really, but I was like, I mean, hey, it seems promising more or less. So coming out in November. Probably one of the highlights from this as well was what is it called? I think it was called, maybe was it Bad Bean? Killer Bean. So Killer Bean seemed pretty interesting, where it's like it seems like an open world, but there's like Matrix slow mo shoot dodging, and yeah, but they're beans. They kind of look like potatoes, but no, they're beans. So that seemed interesting. That totally is a game I will play. Is there anything else that really stuck out? Among Us launched a like publishing company, Outer Software. Basically, they are supporting other indie developers with their games, which is pretty cool. Oh, this was pretty big. Alan Wake announced. Well, Sam Lake went on stage and announced the Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC, which is like 3 random episodes, like presumably non-canonical, just one-off what if episodes that seem pretty cool. I only played one so far, but I definitely plan to finish the rest. Valorant coming to consoles is pretty interesting. Skate 4 showed itself again. They're doing a pre alpha for people that want to sign up. And did they end with Phantom Blade Zero? Maybe they did. Yeah, I believe they did. So there was that. All in all, it was all right. Nothing really crazy, but these are fairly solid announcements, So there's that. There's that. I'll see if I try and let's go. Then we had the Xbox showcase. Let's see. If it wants to play. Then we had the Xbox showcase, which was probably this was pretty damn good. So I recall them starting off with Doom: The Dark Ages looks pretty damn interesting. Apparently, it's a prequel before even the first Doom, where it shows the Doomslayer with like a one of those I can only refer to Game of Thrones like capes, and then has this badass shield and then a shotgun, of course. And then they show like at least the one gun that stands out is like a bone a gun that uses bone for ammo. Like you put like a skull into it and it shoots like the chunks out, which was pretty tight. Then you can like apparently have kaiju battles. It looks like where you can commandeer this big ass mech and fight like these random huge monsters essentially. But yeah, this looked pretty dope, to be honest. Fable showed itself again. Avowed. Anything else that like stood out specifically? Indiana Jones, they showed a trailer specifically for it, and it was cool. Actually surprised it sounded like Harrison Ford, but he only agreed to have his likeness. So apparently Troy Baker is voicing Indiana Jones in this, which was actually pretty convincing as somebody who hasn't, is not like a huge Indiana Jones fan in general. So, but yeah, it seemed like a conventional Indiana Jones game. It did interest me more to play it, and I mean, consider it's on Game Pass, I might give it a shot. Microsoft Flight Simulator, they showed a couple of new things. I think specifically commercial flighting, and I'm not sure how deep they're going with it, but that looked pretty interesting. Freaking Perfect Dark showed itself finally. The reboot looked pretty damn good overall, thoroughly. Joanna can now parkour, a la Mirror's Edge. She can kind of do some stealth and as well traditional combat, melee combat. But overall, it looked very good. And considering the very iffiness that we heard about in terms of like the trailer and everything, it seemed really dope. I was very much a fan. South of Midnight, which looks pretty interesting. I'm very interested. The animation, the style, design choice seems all pretty interesting in general. State of Decay 3, very much looking forward to this. I'm a pretty big fan of the previous games, especially the first one that really got me hooked. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this third one. They didn't really show too much gameplay. It just seemed to be mainly um, trailer footage, if anything. Got to look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, you know, hey, I'm already interested. Expedition 33, which looked actually pretty damn interesting for a turn-based RPG. The design, the aesthetic and graphical like style overall looked very flashy and like attractive in general. So definitely on my radar. This seems to be like a bit ways out. I'm guessing like 2025, but they never really revealed that, I don't believe. Dragon Age the Veilguard, as somebody who's not really a Dragon Age fan, seemed all right, but I hear some people weren't really a fan of the art choice for this one. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that specifically. Frag Punk, which is a 5v5 rule change and shooter, which seems like at least they showed in the trailers that like you can, I guess, get a card that makes people's heads super big, and then you can like, I guess, presumably pop them off that way or whatever. So I mean, there's that. I guess I don't know. Life is Strange Double Exposure. As somebody who's never really played those games, I have no clue. Apparently, the main character is a character that's returning. Yeah, Life is Strange, you know. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta. We actually got a pretty legit look at it, like the a bit of the gameplay as well as the cinematics and like the some of the new character models. We saw the boss, which is pretty dope. So it looks very promising, I have to say. Stalker 2 came out of like obscurity again, so it seems like I think this is definitely coming out this year. It is insinuating, at least. I don't think we got a definitive date, but Diablo 4, like man, that was a gruesome trailer. Like they got really gritty, but basically a new update with that game, which was interesting to say the least. Fallout 76 new DLC. We got a look at the DLC coming for Starfield Shattered Space, which I mean it looked interesting. It feels more like I have to see it to really get a good feel in general. They announced new Xbox hardware, so now they finally have an Xbox Series X that is all digital now. So basically, essentially, it's a white Xbox Series X, but doesn't have a disk drive. So you got that. You got another Series S, but what was the difference with this one? It's 1 terabyte in Robo White, which I think the 1 terabyte model was only in black, but now they're going back to white with that. And then a cool super uber if you got the money special edition Galaxy Black, which personally does not speak to me at all. Just the design, it feels very cheap, to be honest, but it's 2 terabytes in terms of like the base storage. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. Probably the biggest announcement for me personally, of course, freaking Gears of War is back, baby. Yeah, I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting for this day. Gears of War E-Day, which is a prequel to the first Gears, where you are at least going to be Marcus Phoenix along with Dom Santiago, um, basically, fighting them locusts as they just arrive, versus the first gears where they're acclimated already to the locusts, but now the and like the trailer showcases, like, Marcus is way more greener now. He's struggling very much with the locust in this, and I like it. I'm on board just to see like a totally new side of Marcus that's like not seasoned like he is in pretty much all the other Gears games, to see like, yeah, how they are gonna tackle E-Day, and how Marcus, how they actually get and make the Lancer with the chainsaw. So they did confirm that it will appear in this, but it seems like, at least what they show in the trailer, is the retro Lancer, which is basically the Lancer with a bayonet instead of a chainsaw. So it seemed, I assume at some point, like early on, you'll have the retro Lancer, and then at some point, uh, throughout the course of the game, they might just have a discovery and like, oh, we can make this technology, and then that's how they manufacture the traditional um, chainsaw, which would be pretty dope. Pretty dope. Yes, I'm looking forward to this though. Hopefully we get Baird and Cole. I think so. That seems likely, even though technically I'm not sure if Cole Cole was doing. They might be separate. I could see that, where Marcus and Dom and will be doing their own thing, and then maybe they'll probably do Cole and Baird and somehow get them to cross paths and have a shootout or whatever. I could definitely see that. So 14 years before the first Gears of War. So that's going to be interesting. And, I mean, some of the previous games did showcase E-Day to an extent, or somewhere around E-Day, maybe like a little bit after or whatnot. But yeah, they definitely, I think this was definitely the right choice, in my opinion. Considering the very shakiness and weirdness of Gears 5 in terms of that cliffhanger option, um, yeah, I guess mainly cliffhanger option select ending. Yeah, that just seems very like I think that game ended in a very weird place overall. So at least this will give them some more time to kind of maybe, I don't know, see what they want to do in regards to that or whatever, and then at least use this as a means to kind of reinvigorate the series, especially for newcomers to the game, the series as well, to kind of get them introduced. And them graphics gonna look delicious. You gonna want to lick your screen all the time. I know I am. I might lick my Xbox. I'm not between us. I just might lick it. I might lick it a couple times. I'm not. I'm just saying. But yeah, as a huge Gears fan, very excited that we finally got something Gears. Finally. We didn't get a release date, so the pessimist in me is thinking probably 2025. So we will see. But yeah, that was such a great trailer. They of course, had a little Mad World reference to the original Gears trailer in it. And yeah, just everything it stands for. I'm very much in, baby. I'm so in. Gears of War E-Day. I'm ready. I'm ready for E-Day. I'm ready to emerge. I'm ready to emerge. Somebody need to make that a slogan. That need to be in the game. Marcus, Dom, somebody gonna need to say it. Probably feels more in line for Baird. He's like, hey, hey, I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna need to emerge. I kind of want that very badly now. You're so bad. I don't know about y'all, but I need to emerge. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. And then after that, they did have a dedicated block after the showcase for Black Ops 6, which dropped a lot of info actually in terms of what to expect for this upcoming game. Probably the biggest takeaway was the omnidirectional movement, which was pretty tight. So basically now, at least from multiplayer perspective, of course it's going to be in single player, but you can basically run in any direction as well as like dodge and also aim in a 360 degrees. So that definitely implies a lot in terms of like how the gameplay is going to go overall now with that considered. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how that gets implemented, I'd say. The other part of me though is like, the sweaty tryhards are gonna like freaking abuse the hell out of that, and it's probably gonna be very annoying to fight against. Where they might find, I found some Omni tech, so I can sprint, slide, dive, and if I do it at the right timing, I'll be invincible, and I'll have invincibility frames, and they can't even hit me. And that's just that's just gonna make me. That's gonna. You know what? You know what? You got it. Y'all got it. Let me log off. Let me log off. So, and this was announced a while back, but they at least, double confirmed it essentially is that this is gonna be Xbox Game Pass day one. So you'll be able to play Black Ops 6 if you have a Game Pass subscription, which is pretty dope. And I do like what that implies, at least. So at least you'll have even a pretty healthy player base, especially considering crossplay with PlayStation. But I'm curious to see how this is going to go now that, like, it's going to definitely encourage people to not buy Black Ops or Call of Duty, but subscribe to Game Pass, and to see how that will affect sales, even though, of course, Activision has been acquired by Xbox. So it's going to be interesting to see how sales fare now with that considered, with Call of Duty being like one of the biggest consistently selling games of all time. So that's going to be very interesting. I know definitely it's probably safe to say the PlayStation sales are probably might trump Xbox considering this Game Pass subscription setup. So who knows? But overall, I have to say, yeah, just this is probably one of the best Xbox game showcases in a good while. You could definitely tell all them acquisitions are paying off. Even though a lot of these are not coming necessarily soon. But I mean, within the next year in 2026, that it's fair. So, I think they definitely needed to do this considering all the weirdness and, the layoffs and whatnot, before, this. So overall, yeah, this was probably definitely the best showcase of this summer block of, game showcases, if you will. So I'm very, very much looking forward to the future that is Xbox. What else? After that, we got the Nintendo Direct, which was pretty good for its own reasons as well. So starting off, we got Mario and Luigi Brothership. That's it. Don't get more epic than that. So this seems to be a continuation of the Mario and Luigi like RPG series. I think there were like 2 games before this one. Nintendo World Championships NES edition. So pretty much these seems to be like assorted speed running challenges. And also there seems to be like modes like akin to the like Super Mario Brothers 35 stuff where you're playing the single player game, but racing against the clock against other players in terms of like a last man standing challenge, which seems pretty interesting. Nintendo Switch Esports, they bring in basketball. Hey, you want to try to dunk on your friends? I mean, there you go. It don't get any more, just plain than that. Among Us. There's another update with a new crewmate and imposter roles, like the tracker, which plants trackers, or an imposter who can turn invisible. Oh, that just sounds devious. That sounds very devious. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, released from the prison of the Wii, now coming to the Switch. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. The Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, which was the turn-based Metal Slug game, which actually that I am fairly interested in that, to be honest. Additions to Nintendo Switch Online. So we got Legends of Zelda, The Four Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, Turok for the 64, and Perfect Dark for the 64. Even though I heard Perfect Dark, the port is a little sketchy, but I mean you could still play it, I guess. Probably one of the biggest announcements, surprises in general. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, out of nowhere. You got Ryu and Cyclops like doing the Predator handshake. You son of a bitch. They do the my man. They do and they pull it in. It's not the business. It's the all right. It's like my man. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Twitter, everybody's losing their shit over this, to be honest. I mean, include myself. I was like, oh shit, really? So this collection includes Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, X-Men versus Street Fighter, and what was the other one? I think it was just a X-Men game. Yeah, X-Men Children of Adam, Marvel Superheroes, the Punisher, the beat 'em up. So that's included in this, and it also has a what is it called? Online co-op for the Punisher, as well as the other various fighting games in this collection, which is pretty dope. Overall, this is a very solid, promising collection. There will also be a physical release, so for those that are worried that this might go back into oblivion, potentially at least you can get a physical version of this, so have no fear in regards to that. But all in all, this is a pretty solid collection. Hopefully the online is good. They seemingly added a training mode for these games, which is pretty dope. So there is that as well. But all in all, yeah, this is probably my favorite announcement at this for this direct, for sure. I'm just waiting for what's his name when I play that Punisher arcade game just to do a special. Whoa. You got art, documents that have been never before seen by the public, and you can play. I want to take you for a ride to your heart's content. or you could do that jazz level. Yeah, da-da, 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 do-do-do-do-do-do-da-da. You could go crazy. You could go crazy. You could take yourself for a ride. You could take yourself for a ride. So there's that. Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is I wasn't ever actually even 100% sure what this was. A whole bunch of new boards, tons of mini games, including a board set and a mall and another or on a race course. 5 new board games and 2 from previous games are available in total. Up to 20 players can compete online. 2 in new modes. It's the biggest Mario Party yet. Nintendo said it's coming October 17th. So it seems like very ambitious. Very ambitious. The most ambitious Mario Party known to man. It's not a Mario Party. It's a Mario Party Jamboree. Get it right. Get it right. You must be mistaken. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Pretty dope. So this is surprisingly I think this is technically the first Zelda where you actually play a Zelda. So I forgot what they set up in the trailer, but essentially Link has gotten captured. What? So you as Zelda are now exploring and have to save Link. And you can summon chairs and tables and whatnot, which is interesting. And basically summon minions and whatnot. So seems pretty interesting. Just Dance. I mean, it ain't a direct without Just Dance. I'm just saying. Stray coming to Switch that used to be a PlayStation exclusive. Sure, I guess. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. I think so. These were the side Ace Attorney games with Miles Edgeworth instead of the main guy. I'm just testing you. That's all. Not Phoenix Wright, but Miles Edgeworth, idiot. What are y'all? What am I even doing? Probably the other biggest announcement for people that have been waiting, been fiending for it. Metro Prime 4 Beyond. So we finally got an update. Showed a little bit of gameplay. This it's not coming out until 2025, but it's good that we finally got confirmation in terms of when to expect this. Because this has been the longest mystery, if you will, for a good while. So overall, it's pretty good after really thinking on it a little bit more. This was a very solid direct, all things considered, and considering the elephant in the room of the next Switch coming out, which it seems like they're still gonna avoid probably until after the holiday season. Probably like March of next year ish or something like that is when we'll probably, hopefully, finally hear about the sequel, the next Nintendo Switch or whatever. So, all in all, it's pretty good. Pretty good, I must say. And other announcements, that did happen. Just to touch on, I guess mainly the limited run game showcase that happened earlier today. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop getting a physical. Fear Effect getting a physical. Hitman Blood Money getting physical. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition getting physical. And apparently they said that this is going to have a new mission that I guess is going to link this game more closely with the sequel or somehow. So that's interesting. Assault Suit Linos 2 Saturn tribute for the shooter fans out there. Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus. I thought this was physical. Apparently not. Or maybe specifically for the Switch. Maybe for the Switch it wasn't, or something like that is my guess. Toxic Crusaders beat 'em up, getting a Switch physical. What was? Is there any more of that? Fighting Force collection getting a physical. I'm very looking forward to that. Star Wars Dark Forces getting physical. But yeah, these are actually pretty surprising announcements. Tomba 2, Tomba Collection, Bubsy, Clock Tower Rewind. I thought that was already, was that not a thing already? Nonetheless, that was announced. Shantae, Risky Revolution, a Gex trilogy, Rat's Adventures in Game Land. Like, come on now. I hope I'm selling this, But other than that, yeah, those are probably the at least striking announcements outside of, the summer games stuff. But yeah, overall, hey, could have been worse. A worse summer for, game announcements. You never know. Nothing drastically crazy, but hey, pretty solid nonetheless. So yeah, let's get into what I've been playing. I'm not sure where I left off with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it was great. I got the platinum. I got it. 200, damn near 200, 50-ish hours later, I got it. Was it worth it? No. But I had fun either way. So that was great. It was a good time. I'm looking forward to the PC version. I'll probably definitely dabble into it. They're probably going to drop it on Epic Game Store first, which I'm not going to get. And then I'm going to wait for Steam and then, hop on in. So there is that. Double Dragon Gaiden. The DLC I played a decent amount. Was pretty dope. The new characters, I think Ranzo, Chai Mei, and Sunny. They're pretty cool. I like them. I kind of want to experiment with them more to find I feel like there's some like insane chemistry collection of the two or something like that is pretty dope, but I've yet to fully, I guess, realize that. But along with that, they also added a survival mode, which is pretty dope. Similar to Streets of Rage, of course, but it, its own take on it. Where you spawn at random areas, and you can unlock more by buying them from the store. And basically you just survive. And that was pretty nice distraction. Not as engaging or in depth as like Streets of Rage 4, but it was pretty solid nonetheless. So that was a good time. Also played Robocop Rogue City. As a mild Robocop fan. It was pretty decent. It checked all the boxes for like what you would want in a RoboCop game for the most part. First person shooter, you have your gun that is infinite ammo and automatic, and you can upgrade, and you can grab people and throw them, which is pretty fun. Then you can grab random item weapons as well throughout the levels. But yeah, it was pretty cool overall. Couldn't tell you the story. It was something about trying to get RoboCop out of not being a RoboCop anymore because he's dangerous and he's sentient, and then there was that whole debacle more or less, and I just wanted to shoot people and throw people, and that's what I got. That's what I was looking for. That's what I got. That makes the game all right in my book. So graphics were actually pretty good. Like they felt very um faithful to the movies. You definitely got like a movie vibe from the graphics alone, which was pretty cool. Um there was like optional side quests, which I didn't do too many. I was just like, let me just play the main like path for the most part. But yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. If you're a fan of RoboCop, I think you'll enjoy this. Bitches, come. You'll know what I mean when you play. It's pretty funny. But yeah, there you go, RoboCop. Then also played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Finally got back to it, put some decent time in it. Probably like maybe 45-ish hours, I'd say, currently now. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the turn based, probably is. Maybe it's just the turn based Yakuza, but it just didn't captivate me as much as like even the first one, the first turn based one, Like a Dragon. I don't know. I think it was just the novelty that this is a new a take on Yakuza now, and that was cool. But now like this one is a little pretty much more of the same for the most part, with some different variations and things like that. But I don't know, just something is not like consistently grabbing me. Then again, I've been doing a lot of the side stuff, even though the side stuff on its own accord would have captivated me. Like, oh man, I want to consistently go through it. But then I don't know, maybe it's just life in general that like I'm just not sticking with it. I've been playing other games. Call of Duty has been occupying me as well. So I don't know. It's not grabbing me like I wanted it to. But then again, I don't know. It could be subconscious burnout from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, even though they're fairly different in a lot of ways. But still could be just the burnout of putting like damn near 200 plus hours into that. So I don't know. I'm like chipping away at it here and there, but I don't know. A part of me just wanted to be fully engaged and engulfed into it, which I just don't feel like 40 hours in it is. I'm definitely going to see it through because there's definitely some plot details like this is pretty much within the first 5 hours of the game. Kiryu, and they reveal it in like the trailers and stuff that like Kiryu has cancer, and like how is that gonna turn out? Are they gonna fake us out again? And I don't. But so I'm definitely very much interested in that aspect. But I don't know, man. Maybe after some more time into it, I'll get into it. I don't know, but yeah. Then they introduced like the Dondoko Island, which they showed in the trailers, which is basically like the Animal Crossing ripoff. I'm like, I don't know about this either. It's like a whole other thing, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want Animal Crossing in my Yakuza game. I can appreciate the effort, of course, but I don't know. I feel very indifferent about it. But there is, of course, still some highlights. Like there's a dating app mini game within this game, which is very funny. And like you talk and try to essentially like persuade your way to get a date, and then when you get a date they end up being a catfish. They totally being like a guy, a creepy dude, instead of a woman that which is pretty funny, especially like as somebody who is like in that scene in terms of like dating apps and stuff. That very much resonated with me, and that was very funny. So it definitely still has its highlights, its humor, and things of that nature. But I don't know, it feels like some of the side stuff is you're kind of capped towards your level specifically. You're like, yeah, you're essentially like you're like capped. Yeah, you're basically like capped at a certain level for like some of the side quests where you have to be a certain level to actually even get past it, which I don't know. That that seems a little off putting, even though like it's like, oh well, I can't play the side quests. I have to keep playing more of the main game. So I don't know. A part of me just likes doing all the side quests in one fell swoop, or doing all of them, doing all of them as much as possible before moving on or whatever. So yeah, there's that. What else? That you're in Hawaii now for the first time. You're out of the consistent conundrum of being in Kamurocho, or I forgot the other place. Okinoboro, something like that. Yeah, yeah. Kiryu's fun as a, now he's a side character, which is a decent, like, constellation, as not being able to play him anymore, which is cool. Um, oh, I like they have a Pokemon ripoff, which was technically in the first one too, which is pretty fun. Yeah, and they went fully into it now, where like you command these random people that are like, Pokemon attributes, and you collect them, and you gotta, fight them, and then you can convince them to be on your team and stuff, which is pretty fun. I did enjoy, have been enjoying that element too. So yeah, yeah, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm currently kind of indifferent about it, but overall, I mean, I'm still interested enough. I mean, as a dedicated fan of the series, I feel I feel like a obligation to finish and see if it does change. But yeah, it's like anybody else, I don't know. It's like like you watch the animes. Oh, you know what? After the 400 episodes, that's when it gets really interesting. I'm like, I mean, if I'm not interested, then why would I still be interested? I mean, I digress. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's some aspects that are interesting, but as a whole, I don't know. I do not. Oh, I guess I'll tell you next episode if that changes. Um. Then of course, have to get been trying to get ready for Elden Ring, the DLC that technically dropped earlier today for most people on PC, I think. Um, I basically I beat the game originally. I think I'm like what 160ish hours in, and then I was like, you know what? Let's do New Game Plus. And then I played it for a bit, and then I just dropped it around when it came out. So now, coming back to access the DLC, you have to beat General Radon, and I think Mog or whatever. So I have not beaten neither yet. So that's and I guess I was trying to figure out how can I just like critical path it to them, because I'm like, I'm New Game Plus, so I know I could take them, but I think mostly mandatory. I have to like unlock the torch lights, whatever it is, whatever the equivalent for this game is called. But I think I have to unlock the torch lights in order to even access these places or whatever. So that's essentially what I've been doing in anticipation of it. But as of today, I've not gotten there yet. So probably more than likely this weekend, that's probably going to be my focus, is to try to unlock the DLC, and then of course fully indulge. I'm gonna go with it. Fully indulge myself into the DLC, which apparently I heard is pretty lengthy, and highly rated, probably one of the best rated DLCs. I think it even surpassed the Witcher DLC as like the best DLC release, which is, I'm all for it, baby. I'm ready to get frustrated and then succeed and feel this overwhelming sense of accomplishment and success and triumph. I'm ready for it. It's been a while, so but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much been it for me. And yeah, with that being said, I think that will conclude episode 192 of Switch's Sights. If you did like this podcast, feel free to like, rate, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms. You can catch me record this live on Twitch TV/aswitch when it wants to work. You can also catch the archive recording of this on youtube.com/aswitch as well. But yeah, until next time, y'all, feel free to fuck. Get your damn game on. Aw, yeah. Nobody's safe.